Two big guys going at it, boy.
This is a big guy battle. Wow.
Well, an advantage for the Rangers. Remke had no helmet for Johnston, so those punches are going to hurt a little more when they land.
Let them go.
One guy's 6'7". How big's Johnston? 6'5"?
No, I think he's 6'7" also. Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Let's go! I love it. I love it. The Empire State Building. That guy right there, that's Chris Kotsopoulos.
Can you guys
He's
see
drinking
this?
a black and tan.
And Lord Stanley's on top.
Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. I need a Stanley Cup.
Just a little wee Stanley Cup. It's the closest I got to it.
Yeah, I know. Man, I tell you what, got a lot to talk about.
You know what, man? You won as many Stanley Cups as I did.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. The New York Rangers are the President Trophy winner in the NHL with how many wins?
5?
55 wins.
And as I said on Facebook last night, there's not a person on this earth that had them doing this season.
The best.
Not one. I don't want to hear anybody's bullshit. Oh, yeah, I had them winning the President's Cup. Oh, yeah, I had them, breaking all team records and all that stuff. Not a one.
The most wins for the franchise ever. The most points. Most points for the franchise ever. They took it into their own hands. They took care of business. We're going to get all about New York Rangers in a few. Obviously, I want to cover some things around the league. A lot going on. Potsy's got the Flyer game in the background on his side. Beth, I need you to watch all the fun going around the league. Wow, look at this. We got the chat room moving here. Looks like Barry's joined us. There's just so much to do and not enough time to do it. But that's the fun of all of this. So right now it looks like the Boston Bruins will take on, I believe, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, well, I mean, all things can change. Boston has a game left.
They're losing. They're losing tonight.
Well, no, Carolina now. No, they are losing right now?
Yeah, I think Boston's losing.
So Carolina's going to play the Islanders, who pushed themselves into third place. And we'll play the Carolina Panthers. Still not sure if Florida can it looks like Florida can overcome the Boston Bruins, and then Florida would play Tampa, and that would be one hell of a matchup.
Perfect.
Washington wins tonight in regulation.
It's over for Detroit. It's over for Philly. It's over for Pittsburgh.
Whoever. Yeah.
Yes, if Washington wins in regulation. Right now, it's tied, though, 1-1.
So that's a big game.
And Uncle Vinny's already said that if he has to, he's going to pull the goalie to try and put it in regulation if it stays that way.
Uncle Vinny's got to, do what he's got to do. That's a smart move. I understand. They have to win in the Flyers have to win in regulation. And Detroit's got to lose. Pittsburgh's got everybody in their mom's got to lose.
Yeah, so. Well, Detroit is losing, I think, as last I looked. I can flick it back here and catch it.
Well, it's all right. I have all the scores in front of me, too. A lot easier. Bruins are losing 2-0 to the Senators. The Hurricanes are losing to the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, but they sat out 8 guys. Yeah, Hurricanes sat out 8 guys tonight. 8 regulars sat out. So the Blackhawks won.
The Leafs are beating the Panthers 2-0. A lot going on here.
Yeah, the thing about the Leafs is you're looking forward to see if Matthews scores 70.
Yeah, well,
he's stuck on 69. What a number, huh?
Yeah, not too bad. I didn't look at the breakdown out west.
I think I know one's a matchup already. Colorado Winnipeg apparently is an automatic.
Colorado, Winnipeg, because they can't move.
Yeah.
So
the rest of it, I don't know.
Oh wow, Vancouver and Edmonton still have 2 games left. So does Winnipeg.
Yeah. Well, the season ends on Wednesday, Pauly.
Yeah. So Dallas right now would play Vegas, and Nashville right now would play Vancouver if everything sits the way it is. So, going to be very interesting.
What's
so
up, Barry? Barry's all lit up here. He's got all kinds of stuff with the New Jersey Warriors, heading to Toronto in June. Barry, you're never done with the hockey stuff, are you? The New Jersey Warriors won their championship, apparently, according to Barry. That's the disabled hockey team. Or the Warriors. New Jersey Warriors won their first ever Warriors national hockey. Awesome.
You
got to go to the top. Any
update on Michael Mason, by the way?
I think he's doing okay. He had some issues there medically, but as far as I know, he's doing all right.
All right, well, good.
Well, he's recuperating. How's that?
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen him in a while. I haven't even seen him on Facebook. So
yeah, he's been on periodically. That's about it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll scoreboard watch. We'll talk about it. So Matthews is at 69 goals.
Yes. Yep.
Obviously Kucherov is going to.
He's going to win the scoring title.
He's going to take the cake with the scoring title.
Nice elbow he gave Wilson the other night. Did you see that? Kucherov getting a little dirty elbow there?
I didn't see it, but I don't mind it.
I always told you that Kucherov, he's got a little dirt in him. You know, he's not just a offensive machine. He's got a little chippy dirt on him, and he gave it to Wilson pretty good, and nothing happened. He didn't get called.
So Nathan McKinnon can catch Kucherov, no problem, because they still have. I think they have 1 game left.
Yeah.
He's got 138 points. Kucherov with 142. McDavid with 100 assists this year.
Yeah, McDavid he missed about 10 games too altogether. If you think about it.
So, first time in a long time. Artie, the bread man, Panarin, 120 points.
What a season.
Pulling in the top 4, and then David Pastrnak. So, obviously, Cots, there's so much to talk about, and we really, nobody knows who's going to do what. Is it, who's going to win MVP? A lot of talk about.
It's a tough one. It really. Let's get into that just a little bit. Think about it. Okay, we'll start with the Rangers. Where would the New York Rangers President Cup trophy-winning team be without Artemi Panarin right now? Forget about Shesterkin. Forget about Adam Fox. Talk about Artemi Panarin.
Right.
Where would they be? Okay, so now we go to the next one of the next favorites, Kucherov. Obviously, a big wheel in Tampa. Leading the league in scoring and all that. Then you go to McKinnon. I mean, where would all these teams be without these individual players? That's why I think it's a tough call.
Yeah,
I really believe it's a tough call. It's not. There's no guarantee on this. So just because one guy has more points than the other doesn't mean he's more valuable. So, I think about a month ago I would have said McKinnon for sure. But I'm sure Artemi Panarin's going to get a lot of votes. Trust me.
I would think so. And where would Florida be without Reinhart? 55 goals this year. There's a few questions, but yeah, I mean, being a Ranger fan, I couldn't agree with you more, Kotz. I mean, he's meant so much to this team this year. I think he's been instrumental for his line mates. I think his game has just exploded this year, and the Rangers really rode the back of this guy for.
Oh, Dan Schmidt has joined the show. No, it's not the midget porn channel. It's just for midgets only. And you don't rank. You don't even get it. You can't even get up to 5 foot tall. Anyhow, Panarin scored a point. What? 69 games, 68 games this year for the Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean that's pretty impressive. I mean, I don't know what the stats are on the other guys. I mean, like I said, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's a tough call to see who's the actual MVP of the league this year. I would say, obviously, it's between those three. Throw McDavid in there, too. A lot of people would say Matthews, from Toronto. But I don't see that only because of where the team is in the standings, overall.
Sure.
Right now, the Rangers were first overall. Tampa's in the middle of the pack standing-wise.
Right.
Colorado's in the upper echelon in the standings out west. So, who knows? Who knows, big boy?
Yeah.
Yingling, I'm still waiting for you to sponsor us.
Power play goals. Sam Reinhart, huh? 27. Chris Kreider had 18 this year. The Flyers, 6 shorthanded goals by Connecticut.
He's a pretty damn good player. That guy.
He
He's
sure
not
is.
a big guy, but boy, oh boy, he plays hard. He's got a lot of heart.
It sure is. Vinny Trocheck placing third for face-off win percentage. Well, again, I wish we were talking about what is going to be the matchup, but I do like that all these teams are competing hard to try to figure out who's going to play where.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more settled in the West. Obviously, like the bottom wild cards are settled there. Okay, there might be a jump or two here and there, but the East it all ends in the next hour or so. Basically, everybody will know where they stand. And if it's going to be the Capitals, it's going to be the Capitals. Bring them on. That's what I say.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Penguins really started to bring their season together late, and I think obviously it was just too late. But I think you're right. I think it is going to be the Capitals. I think they've been playing hot, and they got to win tonight and call it a day. I would love to see the Flyers win tonight, just to make it more fun, see what happens. But it's going to be the Flyers, it's going to be the Capitals, it's going to be Detroit. Who can it be? Most likely Capitals. So,
well, the Capitals again. If they win in regulation, it's basically over.
Yeah. Moving on. We'll get into some of the other shit in a little while, but I got really lucky, guys. I was having some serious technical difficulties.
Pauly was scrambling.
I saved it in the last 2 minutes before we turned on. I don't think we really need to go through the. Here's the other thing, and I know Beth sent this to me. Beth, I'm sorry, but a lot of players coming back from IR. Stone, right? He's coming back. Looks like Filipinos coming back for the.
You must be really excited about that one.
I mean, he can't hurt. He can't hurt, buddy. He can't hurt.
Please.
What?
They won the President's Cup without him.
I understand. It still can't hurt, buddy. The depth can't hurt. I think I'd rather see him playing than Johnny Brodzinski, but it's just me. I mean, Cots.
It was surprising, though, to hear that, though, this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's in practice wearing the red jersey so nobody could touch him. If only the league would go with no-touch hockey, it'd be great.
Well, again, think about it, too. Mark Stone came back, right, for Vegas. He was out on long-term IR. Where are they against the cap?
Oh, they're doing magic with the cap, that team.
So, I mean, and there's a couple other players. It looks like the Sabres fired their coach today, too, huh?
Yeah, Granado, bye-bye. But I don't blame him at all. I mean, This Kevin Adams, an ex-player that's running that organization in Buffalo. Now he's put his foot in his mouth now, saying it's up to the players and him next year. So if they don't make the playoffs next year, Kevin Adams, you're gone too.
Yeah. I tell you, Ottawa showed a good showing last night. I thought they played a heavy game. I got to tell you, that Brady Tkachuk, though, I want to punch him in the face myself.
Doesn't he remind you of one of those goofy guys on the Goonies, the movie?
He definitely didn't get any good. He didn't get any good looks.
He's not one of the most pleasant-looking faces. But
yeah.
Is he a hockey player?
My God, yeah. One of my favorites.
He takes no shit to nobody. I love the way he stood there and smiled at Rempe after Rempe took that penalty.
I wish Rempe would have dropped the gloves with him, to be honest with you.
Not when he already took a penalty, Pauly, and the game was still close. Yeah. So Ottawa played hard last night.
They sure did.
A couple of bounces here and there would have been a closer game.
How about Chris Kreider with 2 primary assists? 1 5-on-5 and 1 shorthanded. I
was kind of the one that he set up Fox with. It really looked like he made a fantastic pass, but if you look at it slow mo, it was about 6 inches off the ice. If it wasn't for Fox's good hands, wouldn't have went in.
I don't disagree.
But no, Kreider had a good game. I mean, but overall, I mean, I like to bust you about your Tampa likings. Ottawa beat Tampa the previous game in Tampa, 4-2. So I knew Ottawa was going to come out and play hard, even though the score looks like a slap in the face against Ottawa, 4-0. That game was a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I think they played a good game, man, and they're heavy.
They're winning again tonight against somebody good, aren't they? Ottawa, aren't they beating somebody good tonight? They were up 2-0 last I looked.
Yeah, I think they were playing Toronto. No, were they playing Toronto? No.
No, Toronto's playing Florida, but I know Ottawa's playing somebody on the road. Boston, they're playing Boston and beating Boston. That's who.
Yeah.
I don't know what the score is now, but
2-0. But the Bruins, I tell you, the Bruins have been shit in the bed lately, man.
Like I've been trying to tell you for the last month or so, there's not a team in the East that's a juggernaut. Just when Tampa looks great, then they turn to shit the last week or so. Same thing with Boston. One week I see Boston play, they look like Stanley Cup winners. The next week, the only cup they could carry is maybe a coffee cup that a blind man has. Okay? You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it's gone this year, Pauly.
Yeah.
Teams going Boston, at times, like I said, I've watched them. They didn't look very good last night against Washington. I mean, that was a big game for them because Florida and them are still battling.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I think Boston has been one of the most declining teams in the last little while here. Them and Florida, Boston, Florida, and Toronto over their last 10 games have not been great. Boston 6-4.
Add Tampa in there too, please.
Hold on. I'll get to their last 10. Boston 6-4-0 in their last 10. Florida, I didn't know this, 5-4-1, not looking great in their last 10. Toronto 6-3-1.
That's not too bad, 6-3-1.
Tampa, you're right, 5-4-1 in their last 10.
Uh-huh.
Lost 2 in a row.
3 out of their last 4.
Yeah. Yep. So
The only good thing I'll give, Stamkos got his 40th the other night, so good for him. Toronto boy, a distant relative of mine, obviously up in Toronto.
So Carolina's been 8-2 in their last 10. The Islanders 8-1-1. That's a team we didn't talk. We got to talk about.
And I bet you the Rangers' record isn't too bad, even though they had those 2 losses.
7-3, 7-3 in the last 10. Last 10, not bad. Very, obviously, you can't win the Stanley Cup in the shootout, so a lot of these teams are going to have to figure it out. But like you said, there's not really a juggernaut. I think, Carolina, New York. I still, I was feeling good about Florida. Not good about Florida, but I was feeling like Florida was the team to beat, and yet their last 10 games are not impressive at all.
Well,
did you see Carolina was resting 4 or 5 starters tonight?
Oh, I think they rested eight guys tonight. 8 regulars. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot. Well, they didn't need. They can't improve their schedule. I mean, their standings. The Rangers, won last night, and that basically put Carolina in second place in their division. So they can't really improve. And I think the way it matches up right now, as of now, the Islanders will play Carolina, won't they? You were talking about that earlier, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the Islanders. For some reason, that, like you said, they 8-1-1 over the last 10.
Yep.
Boy. Might be a good matchup,
So who's hot going in on the west side? Dallas is 8-2 in their last 10. And then the next hottest team, believe it or not, Winnipeg 6-3-1, Edmonton 6-2-2. Vancouver's quiet down. They were 5-4-1 in their last 10. I can't believe LA's in this thing, but they are. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Nashville, they got hot for a while, and they dropped down to 4-5-1 in their last 10 games.
Yeah, but they've had a great year. Nobody picked them to.
No, nobody has.
They were looking at being cellar dwellers at the beginning of the season, and they've done a great job there.
And the Golden Nugget Knights are 6-3-1. So nothing crazy, but like I said, Mark Stone came back. So
yeah, I was reading a little bit this morning. Well, I shouldn't say this morning. I never get up before 12, but when I got up, I had my coffee. Winnipeg and Colorado might be the matchup, and if you remember last week, Winnipeg went into Colorado and shut them out 3-0.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't shut out Colorado at home.
Yeah, well, Colorado's had a very up and down season. They have not been. They've gotten really hot and went on streaks, and then they've. Well, they're
kind of like my how you like Tampa a lot. I like Colorado a lot in the West.
Yeah,
I still like them as a team.
Yeah, they're 3-5-2 in their last 10. Like I said, they cooled down quite a bit. They had a couple of streaks like that though this year where they really got cold.
But every team has done that this year. Yeah. That's the thing. Nobody's been that consistent. I mean, the Rangers probably, people like it or not, have been probably the most consistent team all year and never going
disagree. I wouldn't disagree.
Losing spell. I think everybody's like sounding alarms when the Rangers would lose like 2 games in a row, or maybe lose 3 out of 5, and all of a sudden, the ship's sinking and all that stuff. So.
Well, like you said, I don't feel like there's a juggernaut in the East, and honestly, in the West, I mean, they're good. Dallas is the hottest team right now out West, and obviously they made the Rangers go to the last game of the season to decide who was going to take who was going to take, so be great to see Dallas and the Rangers in the final, huh?
Yeah, be nice to see. Be nice. At least we got one team in the finals that we like. I don't hate Dallas, but Dallas is like that. Like the third brother of a family. Like they're good, but nobody really follows them, and nobody really cares about them. And in the meantime, there they are, one of the top teams in the league. I mean, they don't get any fanfare, Pauly. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Well, I got to tell you, one of the things that pissed me off, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant because it fucking pissed me off. I was pissed. If you looked at the headlines last night for the NHL.com website, which I do
it.
Huh?
Do it. Go on the rant. We need one.
Well, I'll tell you what really pissed me off last night was they spoke about, Kucher, the fucking Tampa loses, but one of the headlines is that Kucherov hit 99 points or something. The other one was obviously the Detroit game was very interesting because they were down 4-1.
I watched that. I watched parts of that. Okay, because
right.
it was going back and forth because it was the Rangers started late, so it was working out pretty good. I get to see most of the periods. But it was an unbelievable comeback by Detroit.
But there was no big headline with the Rangers winning the President's Trophy, and I think that's a slap in the face.
There's a little bit of hate towards the
Rangers. I think that's a slap in the face. You know what? This team is what? Just behind the Toronto Maple Leafs when it comes to fucking revenue for the NHL?
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's an old expression, you shouldn't shit where you eat, man. And the bottom line is that NHL hockey, you need the New York Rangers because they're one of the biggest fan bases. They bring in all the fucking money. I mean, to not be on the NHL website last night on one of the 3 pages or 4 pages that you scroll through to say President's Trophy winner, you got to go to the Rangers website to find it. I think that sucks. I think that's poor management. I think that's terrible marketing. If you don't understand what's going to bring excitement to your service, your venue, whatever it is, then you have a real problem. And it's one of the reasons why you're not successful. Your television sucks, your networking sucks, and your marketing sucks. It should be big headlines because it's an honor to win the President's Trophy, and I don't believe in the curse. I think that's the biggest nonsense. That what the curse is? That's for fucking losers. I'll just be honest with you. Oh well, they won the President's Trophy. They didn't win. There's 6 or 8 teams, right? Yep. That won President's Trophies and won the Stanley Cup, and the Rangers in '94 did it. So make a big deal out of it. Market the game properly. And that's just my 2 cents.
I'm not 100%, but I still think there's some slight resentment between Gary Bettman and his offices with the New York Rangers because of years ago when they tried to get every team to use the same web page. Remember, same design, same this, and the Rangers were the last to drag their knuckles across the carpet, on that one. So there might be a little bit of resentment still. It is kind of bullshit, but again, you and I think a lot of fans understand what we think is right and wrong about the NHL. But the NHL also came out today too, Pauly, and said their attendance was the highest ever, record-breaking ever this year. And I'm like, is that seat people in seats or tickets sold or what? Because I've seen some of the better teams in the league this year in the last month or so have a lot of empty seats in their building.
Well, we spoke about it earlier this year about Winnipeg.
Yeah, and Florida. I watched a little bit of a game in Florida a couple weeks ago, and it looked like Florida of the early 2000s when they were giving you 4 sausage dogs and a couple of drinks and free parking.
2 beers, 2 hot dogs, 2 popcorns, 2 hats and 2 tickets.
You name it.
And free parking.
And a pizza to go afterwards for like $30,
And if they score more than 3 goals, you get a free cup of coffee in the morning.
But they did claim that they set NHL attendance records this year.
Yeah.
So
Well, I find that hard to believe, and I don't know how much you can believe that. But speaking of which, the Phoenix Coyotes that are now, I guess, apparently, finally, as we've been speaking about the last 3 weeks, looks like it's official. It looks like they're moving to Utah.
I think I told you last week I had a lot of friends of mine when I was playing in Toledo,
Right.
New Haven. It was part of the Central Hockey League with Salt Lake City, telling you how great it was there and all that. I don't know if they could support an NHL hockey team there.
I don't disagree.
That's just my opinion. I could be dead wrong.
They only have a basketball team, right, Utah?
Yeah, the Utah Jazz, but they're, you have so many other places that are dying to have another team. Like, obviously, Quebec is ready. They got the arena. They got everything. Hamilton, Ontario, which the Leafs might have a little say in that. They want a team. And you're gonna go to Salt Lake City. I think this, I just think this is one of those ones there of Gary Bettman and the NHL owners kind of admitting that it's been a failure in Phoenix, and Arizona in general, but just sort of sliding it. Just all they're doing is sliding it a little bit to the not very far away and going right into Salt Lake City. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, people, is it majority Mormons living there? Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure. I think so.
Yeah.
Will they support an 18,000 plus seat stadium on a consistent basis?
Detroit's all tied up at 3, I see.
No, I got the Flyer game on still.
That's fine. That's still 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 with they just started the third period.
Sure is. 15:51 left in that game. It is tied 3-3, Red Wings and Canadiens. Red Wings got to win no matter what, and they got to hope for a lot of other losers. Obviously, Capitals got to lose.
I think they're ahead of the Penguins, though, no matter what, if they win. That might eliminate the Penguins.
Okay.
Say Washington loses and Detroit wins in regulation, I think that eliminates the Penguins. Not sure.
Yeah, well, I can tell you what. If you really want to know, our executive amazing producer helped me out here. Capitals, if they beat the Flyers tomorrow in any fashion, or if they lose in OT to the Flyers, and all the Red Wings lose in OT, and Canadians and Penguins lose. Okay. Flyers, if they beat the Capitals in regulation, and the Red Wings lose.
Davey Schmidt's on there. That's the better half of the brothers.
They need the Penguins to lose. All right, Penguins. If they beat the Islanders on Wednesday and the Capitals lose in any fashion to the Flyers and the Red Wings lose in any fashion to the Canadians, then the Penguins are in. I'm done with that nonsense.
Yeah, it's just, it's weird how it came down to this when it looked like pretty solid about a month ago which teams were going to be in. And so, Crosby, what a year Crosby's had. I know you hate the guy, but 42 goals, big boy. Out of a 36-year-old going on 37. He single-handedly brought that team back.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. We got to get the hate.
Coming back to the,
we got to get the hate meters out, eh? Like when we talk about Crosby, the meter goes way up on Pauly's side. When Ovechkin, it's fucking to the moon.
Yeah.
Nice goal Ovechkin scored. He acted like he scored a real fancy goal. Went off his fucking gut into the net today. Went off his stomach into the net. And he turns around like, wow, did you see that, guys?
He's got 31 goals.
Yeah, he still stinks.
I mean, but in the middle of the season or late in the season, you're like, what has Alex Ovechkin got? 10, 11, 12 goals?
No, he turned it on the last 20 games. There's no question about that. You know.
In the end, it looks like the Rangers will probably play them. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. But
if that happens, are we going to get into Ranger hockey already?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's start it out. Rempe must play if it's the Washington Capitals.
Absolutely.
I
think, listen, I was reading something today.
Must play because Washington's forwards are big. They like to hit. And it's not just Tom Wilson. They got 4 or 5 other guys that like to run guys through the boards. And there's one guy I really can't stand on that team who thinks he's tough too, besides Ovechkin, is that Carlson, the defenseman. He acts like he's like the toughest defenseman on the ice. So I want Rempe on the ice.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I think we'll see it. Last night, I thought I was proud of them. They all were. I tell you, everybody in Ottawa.
Shesterkin was awesome last night.
Yeah.
It's good to see him.
So, do you want to talk about Rempe or do you want to talk about Shesterkin first?
No, I guess we're going to go through everybody.
Well, of course. I think you're right. I think Rempe has to play. I think he should play in a lot of different scenarios. But if it is Washington, he needs to be in the lineup. But I was going to ask you. I mean, one of the big differences, and I know a lot of the Ranger fans are going to ask this question, and Kotzi was the final breaking up of Trouba and Miller. And Miller's playing with Schneider now, and they play better. I think Gustafsson has become the odd man out. To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Zach Jones.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Gustafsson and Trouba as your third pair. That's the way it looks right now. And that could change from game to game. We know that. Trouba struggled a little bit since he's come back. He looks a half a step slow out there. And I think Schneider's picked up his game. And if you go back to it, Schneider and Miller as a pairing, they started to come into their own as a pairing when Trouba was out.
Yep.
Everybody's worried about, wow, Trouba's out. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. But those guys, they stepped up to the plate as a pairing. Now, there's still a few things I'd like to see out of both those guys because we're talking playoffs now, okay? And they're going to have to match the physicality of the Washington Capitals if it's the Washington Capitals. And I know Schneider's capable of it, and I still think every now and then Miller is capable of it. They're going to have to not take hits, give hits when they're going into the corners with guys, okay? And Trouba's just going to have to get back to himself somehow, some way. You still need him. You still need him to be up there and be a leader. And putting him with Gustafsson, another veteran, is not a bad idea. Not a bad idea, but he's got to pick up that half a step that he kind of lost. He lost a little mojo from that injury, and he hasn't looked quite right.
Agreed.
Since he's come back,
Agreed.
Zach Jones is not out of the question either. He's not. I don't think he's going to sit out the whole playoffs. Zach Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible he plays.
I thought he played really well.
Yes, he did. He did, Pauly. He did. He's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of heads up. Understands the game well. He's got a little bit of fox in him when it comes to little offensive moves.
Yeah.
Problem is, can you have a guy like Fox and a guy like Zach Jones who are undersized,
right,
in a tough physical type hockey game,
right,
comes in the playoffs?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Yeah, so winning board battles is going to be really important.
That's my thought on defense. I mean, the defense part there. Shesterkin obviously is going to carry the load, and he looked really good last night. I didn't see the Islander game. I don't know how well he played there, but
Played
obviously.
very well in that game.
So, well, it looks like he's in top form right now.
He is in top form, and I tell you, I mean, they awarded a penalty shot against him. He did fantastic in the shootout, obviously, but he looked good in the game. And the Islanders, crashed the net. I thought that was a pretty good game. I thought, and I'm glad that the Rangers had these games coming to them, and they still. They're playing a lot. They played the Penguins. They played a lot of teams that were fighting to get in the playoffs. And, you saw a lot of teams' best hockey come against them. Obviously they fell. They fell a few times. They lost to the Islanders, a week or so ago before that one. They lost to Philly. They lost to Pittsburgh. So they lost some games. But when it came down to winning, the last couple of nights, and obviously before that, they've been playing some playoff games, some hockey. So I think they're revved up, but like you said, Shesterkin's going to hold the fort, and if he's on the way he is, tracking the puck and doing the things that he's doing, this team, they have a real, obviously they have a real good shot. When you have a great goaltending, man, anything can happen.
Yeah, and the other underlying fact right now, in my opinion, you and I beat this beat the dead horse a long time on it, is Zibanejad and Kreider. They must step up their game. You can't argue their numbers. Their numbers are still decent in the end, season wise, but. Yeah. There's going to be obviously a little bit of focus on the top line with Trocheck, Lafreniere, and Panarin by the other team.
Yeah.
So it's up to that second line to get their asses in gear and start living up to what we all think they can do. And then you drop down to the third line. A guy like Cooley's got to take the body every shift, just like he's done all year. Okay. Yeah. Same with Gaudreau. They got to grind and they got to play tough, hard hockey. So, it's that simple. Rempe, just be smart out there. He doesn't need to drop his gloves, Pauly, in the playoffs. Okay.
No,
none of that shit has to happen. But a guy like him? I'm just saying, if I was him and I was a rookie, and I did this my rookie year with the Rangers, I chirped after every whistle at everybody. Just talk to them. Tell him you touch the puck, you die. That's all. Plain and simple. And I admit it. I did that to Marcel Dion. I did that to the Los Angeles Kings, to the St. Louis Blues. You know what I mean? When we beat them. It didn't quite work so well against the New York Islanders, but, we chirped. Eddie Hosmer and myself, we made a pact that we were going to let everybody know after every shift where they stood with us. You know what I mean? That's all Rempe has to do. Go by the bench, do the wave, like this, go do this, all that stuff. Let them know. Get in their heads. That's all he has to do. He doesn't have to go out there and drop the gloves or anything like that, unless something really stupid happens. You know what I mean? But he doesn't have to do that. Just go out there, skate up and down the boards, get the puck out when it's up on your side, dump it in when it's up across the center ice, go in and chase and smack a few bodies around. That's all.
That's it.
Stand
in front when you have the opportunity.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I like to see him play a little bit with VC, because I still feel I just still feel like if the Rangers bottom six can outperform, this team is going to go far. And I think for me, that's really key factors. We talked about Shesterkin, but I think the Rangers bottom six, I think Kakko, Cooley, VC, I think, even Wenberg. I think these guys have got to perform, got to chip in on the goal side of things. They got to create, and that's really good. That'll really help this New York Rangers team move forward.
Well, it's going to be hard on Trocheck, Panarin, and Lafreniere if the other three lines don't do their jobs.
Yeah.
You look at the other teams that we always talk about. Kucherov lead the thing. McKinnon, McDavid. They got other guys that can score. Those guys. after Zibanejad and Kreider, it's a big drop off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're absolutely correct in saying that the bottom six guys have to chip in offensively, but they also have to play rugged, mean-spirited hockey. That's all.
Yeah.
You can't go in there. You can't do a drive-by and just like, I skated all this way and I'm just going to curl now instead of hit the guy.
Yeah.
Playoffs now. Every little hit adds up if it's a long series.
What I do like, and I put Davey up there. The Capitals D is banged up. That's good. That helps the New York Rangers if they play him. But what I also like is they traded, what's his name? Anthony Matha, who used to be a Ranger killer for the longest time, dude. And they traded him this year. And I think his first name is Anthony Matha.
Yeah, Matha.
He always played well against the New York Rangers.
Oh.
And he's gone. So that's good news.
Well, again, you're going to play Washington sooner or later. Is that dam going to break on Charlie Lindgren? I mean, like the guy. I never even heard of the guy till this year, and I know he's Lindgren's brother.
And nobody has until this year. He won the spot.
Wasn't he a career minor leaguer up till this year or something like that? I have no clue. But now he's in the limelight because he's Lindgren's brother, and he's actually playing well for Washington right now. Yeah,
he's winning hockey games. There's no doubt about it. But they did point out today that he does seem to give up the rebound. And,
but you gotta be there. You gotta be there for it. If you're not there, it doesn't matter.
Sure.
I mean, I watched a little bit of this Flyer game before he went on, and he gave up a few rebounds, but there wasn't a Flyer within 20 feet.
Yeah.
So.
Got to get there, like you said.
These are things you have to understand if you're a forward playing in the playoffs. You have to understand, you have to do a scouting report on these goaltenders. Who you're playing against. What are their tendencies? What do they like? What do they don't like? Do they like to go on their backhand with the stick behind the net? For all that crap. It all comes together if you do your scouting right. So who knows?
Yeah.
Right. We got the Patrick. Charles the Grimace here is saying he plays like Patrick Roy against us. And it is Roy, not Roy. Who's done a great job with the Islanders there. Where's that Biz Nasty now talking about the Islanders too? Where's that pile of shit? Piz, whatever his name, Piznetti.
Yeah.
You remember how he trashed the Islanders too, saying, "Oh, they're going nowhere with old man Lou and all this shit." Where's he now? Is he scratching the balls of Matthews up in Toronto? Or what? What's he doing?
Yeah. So, all right, Kreider. Let's talk about Chris Kreider.
4-3 Habs now. 4-3 Habs over Detroit.
Wow. And Boston scored.
What about Kreider?
39 goals this year.
Yeah.
18 on the power play. 18 or 19 goals on the power play. Kotsopoulos, at the end of the day, he's, we've talked about his physical attributes. I mean, his play, you would hope in the playoffs here, are going to change up, and he's going to get a little more physical. And then that line with Roslovic, I mean, I'm hoping to God that this guy comes into his own now, and really, I think Roslovic should just handle the puck and shoot as much as possible and try and get open for Zibanejad.
Well, that seems to be a problem with the Rangers, like with the current lineup, is you bring in new guys and all of a sudden they're submissive. They don't shoot the puck enough. I agree with you. Roslovic should shoot the puck more. Okay, he should, but. Sometimes you come to a new team and they already got this guy, they already got that guy. Screw that. Shoot the puck. You know what I mean? And Kreider, there's nothing we can argue about Kreider's power play prowess, okay?
No.
He's an A+ there. And I'll give him this too. He's an A+ as a penalty killer. But over the last probably 5-6 years, he's slowly gone away from the physical presence of taking the body. And I think it's going to be important that he starts picking that up again, because when I look, if it's Washington, I look at Washington's forwards. It's not just Tom Wilson. I already said this. It's not just Tom Wilson that likes to run people. They got 4 or 5 other guys that like to run people too. Guys' names I've never heard of, like Maelstrom and all these other. I've watched them for the last week or so, and they're running guys.
Yeah.
So in order for you to combat that, you must do the same to the defense of the Capitals. Well, who's capable of doing that? We've gone through this, Pauly, countless times. Kouli will hit guys, right? Rempe will hit guys. Goodrow will hit guys. Kreider must be in that group too.
I agree.
He has to be, because Zibanejad don't hit anybody. Trocheck will hit somebody. Panarin don't hit anybody unless he gets mad. Lafreniere hits and then doesn't hit. Okay. Johnny Brzezinski will take the body, but he's not big enough. I'm just saying, you gotta get your beefier guys, the guys that are physically capable of doing that.
Yeah, Kreider has to make the defense miserable. And again, I talk about keys to winning. I think the bottom 6 has really got to produce for the New York Rangers, and I think Chris Kreider is a catalyst for this team on how he plays playoff hockey. And I think at the end of the day, if Chris doesn't make the defense pay and doesn't make it fucking miserable for the defense down low, and I'm talking about winning puck battles, and I'm talking about taking the body and not doing the drive-by, at every opportunity, standing in front, getting the whacks and the hacks and pushing back and letting guys know that it's not going to be fun. I think that is a catalyst of where the success is for this team to move forward. Because if he plays the passive game that he's been playing, I think the Rangers are going to struggle. And I think if he plays aggressively, they'll do well.
I agree with you. I don't understand the mentality today of the players, okay? Because this is not the 80s anymore, okay, or the early 90s, or even the 70s where it all started. Yes, there was a lot of fights back then in the playoffs. Okay, that was a way of controlling a game. We drop our gloves every now and then, have a bench playing brawl like we did in LA. Fighting's not going to be a big asset to anybody in the playoffs now.
No, yeah.
Why are you afraid to make a hit?
Right.
Why should you be afraid to make a hit? You know what I mean? Like, I would love to transfer some of the guys in my day to today's day. They'd have a fucking field day.
Yeah.
They'd have a field day running guys through the boards.
Yeah, agreed.
Just like your boy Alex Ovechkin has done for his whole career and never had to pay the price. Never had to pay the price. So there's no fear of getting into a fight anymore. Go home and hit somebody. You skated all that way to get there. Might as well follow through and hit them. Don't curl away.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's just amazing how it works.
Coach, are you surprised that that Wenberg isn't a little more
I'm listening. Go ahead.
offensive?
Yeah, I am. I think he needs to be a little bit better. Oh, by the way, my boy just fell on the floor, so I got to let everybody know. Okay. He sticks by my desk every day.
Every day.
He's obviously got some good stick handling skills, and he's obviously got a good head for the game. But it'd be nice to see him be one of those contributors we're talking about. You're on the third line. Don't be afraid to pop a goal every other game in the playoffs and help out the Panarins of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the lack of offense coming out of him. But, hey, like I told you last week, okay, once the season ends, everything's great. Rangers won the President's Cup. They set all kinds of team records, and that's something you can look back 20, 30 years from now as an ex-Ranger, and say, we did that. But right now, nothing matters. What you did yesterday means absolute shit come Saturday or Sunday, depending on when they play. It means nothing. All your awards that you got, player, and this, that, MVP of the team that they gave out last night, it means absolute shit, Pauly.
Yeah.
It only means something 20, 30 years from now when you're sitting around having a few beers with the boys. You know what I mean? Talking about the old times.
I mean, Chris, I hate to say this, but, do you think that anything short of winning it all is
I think I don't think. Let's put it this way: they better come damn close.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah. What do you guys think in the chat room? Do you think that the New York Rangers, if they don't go all the way, it's been a failed season? And I think we talked about this, Cots. The core of this team is aging, and it's aging quickly. Zibanejad, Kreider, even Panarin, Trocheck. These guys. What is Trocheck? 27, 28?
I'm not positive on him, but I know
Kreider's in his 30s. Zibanejad's in his 30s.
Panarin's borderline 30.
Yep. With the season he has, you can put him in a class by himself. But again, the core of this team is aging, and
there you go, cup or bust by Charles Grimace Dolans.
Yeah, it is a cup or bust.
You know who that is, right? You know who Charles Grimace Dolans is?
Yeah, that's Schmitty, right?
Dan the Schmidt, the midget. Just want to make sure you know who he is.
Yeah. We have one cup in 84 years. I couldn't I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't disagree. I've been bitching about that. I think that's why I'm such a frustrated fan. And anytime they fall short, I want to throw in the towel because I'm so tired that 84 years, one cup of one of the biggest storied franchises, had all the money, all these different things, and it's gotten to the point where it's like, fuck, man, something's gotta give. So
again, it's what I said last night, what I said at the beginning of the show tonight. Is there anybody here that thought that these guys were going to do what they did this year as a team, representing the New York Rangers? No. Right?
Yeah.
Well, they went and fucking did it. They led the league. They did everything that you could possibly do. So,
True.
You better fucking win it.
So you better win. Yeah. Hey, you did everything good. You did everything great, but you're still gonna fucking suck if you don't win it all, man. That's pretty much where we're at.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would like to go back and see what the odds were. Like at the beginning of the season, the Rangers would be first overall.
Yeah. Probably not. Everyone knew or thought that they would place, and everyone knew.
A lot of the pundits had them not making the playoffs. It's like all these expert hockey writers that never played the fucking game. You know what I mean?
Well, last year they were at what? Last year they had 8 points, 110 points.
Yeah, they had a great season too. But
last year, yeah, they were not expected.
But not as good as this year.
Right, and they were not expected to lose in the first round the way they did. So coming out with a vengeance this year was expected. And, now, I hope there's a lot of conversation going into this second part of the season where, a lot of guys better fucking remember what it was like to get bounced in the first round last year and what it's going to take to really win this thing, man. And, everything's got to be, all the gears got to be turning at the same time. And I tell you what, I think Laviolette should really be considered for Coach of the Year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's done a really good job, and I tell you, I really like what he's done. I like when he makes in-game adjustments. He seems to really be in tune with the players, the team, how they're performing. And, I really like that about Laviolette. And I see, I see very active coaching. And I got to say, they do have a pretty great coaching staff. Michael Pecker, no joke, one of the best guys in the face-off dot. Phil Hosley, world-renowned American defensive, offensive defenseman.
Go ahead, finish it off.
They really have a really good coaching staff, and I think a lot of props to that coaching staff.
Yeah, I remember doing Molson's slow pitch tournament way back in the early '80s when I was with Hartford, and we were in Niagara Falls, and most of the teams were represented for a weekend there. It's basically a lot of drinking and playing slow pitch baseball, and the Sabres had just drafted Phil Hosley out of high school. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
He was on one of those shuttle buses going back and forth to the ballpark, and I looked at him. I go, "Holy fuck!" Like no peach fuzz, no nothing on his guys. Now I look at him on the bench. He's like, he looks old now. I mean, it was just funny how there he was as a 17, 18-year-old in the shuttle bus and whatever. Here's what I'm going to say about Laviolette. I had a little bit of concern at the beginning of the year about him because his Stanley Cup win, his victory was years ago, eons ago. Okay, and he had a couple of teams since then. But what he did this year, you got to go back to when Fox got hurt. Okay, Fox missed how many games? A dozen or so?
Yeah, about 10, 12 games, yeah.
All right. Same thing with Trouba. Losing Philip Hedl for the year. Losing the big right winger.
Blake Wheeler.
Yeah, losing him and was still able to put the pieces together to keep them rolling throughout the season, where they never had any. I mean, their worst month, they were still way above 500. Okay, but it wasn't, like 20-4 or something like that. It was like, I don't know, 15-10, something like that. You know what I'm saying? He's pressed all the right buttons and filled in the gaps when the team needed it. When Shesterkin was sucking, he played quite a few games.
Yeah.
I mean, so, yeah, he's done a great job. And if you're going by who had the most points in the season, then he should get the damn award.
The fucking Red Wings tied it up 4-4.
Wow, less than whatever. It was less than 50 seconds or something like that, right?
Holy shit, yeah. They scored it, I think, in the
last night, too.
In the last 10 seconds, they tied it up 4-4.
They did that last night, too, with 3 seconds left. Wow.
The Bruins lost.
I would have said Rick Tocchet up till about a month and a half ago, but like you said, Vancouver's taken a bit of a nosedive the last month. So
Hurricanes got destroyed by the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, they played the minor league Hurricanes. That's why.
Yeah. Panthers Maple Leafs. Panthers have beaten the Maple Leafs 4-2. I thought at some point that the
Leafs were up 2-0 in that game.
Yeah, I was going to say that they were up 2-0.
Okay, you got 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go in Philadelphia. So what does that mean? Is Tart's going to pull the goalie here soon? What do you think?
I mean, I'd wait a little bit longer. Think it's a little bit early for that. I'd probably wait for the last minute and a half once they get possession. How about those Red Wings, huh? Holy cow.
Yeah, it's not going to matter if Washington wins.
Yeah, well, if Washington wins.
Fat thumbs and short body.
He'd like to
well, guess what? They pulled the goalie and they got scored on. Washington scored.
Way too early to do that. I told you. That was fucking stupid. So you said the Capitals scored?
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, I don't have the update yet.
It's over.
So the Red Wings are playing for nothing.
Pittsburgh's playing for nothing. It's all over, big boy. Are you gonna dust off that Ovechkin jersey now, or what? What are you gonna do?
Not yet.
Gonna dust that jersey off?
Not yet. You know, my Rangers are number one still, so.
Fuck Ovechkin.
Oh, you're hilarious.
He'll never get it. He'll never get my okay, period. End of story.
Well, hopefully the Flyers. Well, the Flyers still have an empty net. I don't know.
It wasn't a bad move by Uncle Vinny. He had to do it. It was his only hope of
yeah, but I think it was too early, Chris.
It doesn't matter. You know, it wouldn't matter because when you got a bunch of morons that got the puck, I watched the play. They got the puck. Okay, they got 6 guys on the ice. The guy that carried across the blue line shoots it, and it goes all the way out and around to a Washington guy outside the blue line. That's just dumb hockey that I see all the time now. Let's see. We're going in to try and score, so I'm going to rifle one that misses the net, so it goes all the way out.
Instead of getting it on net.
Or putting it in the corner where the players are going, not where they're not going.
Yeah.
I see that all the time, though, by the way.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I don't know, man. I would have tried to say, you know, let's get everything on net. Let's try to win a face-off and you know, and win it from there. You see a lot more goals scored off the face-off.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but how many times have you seen in the modern era of hockey where they pull the goalies with 2.5, 3.5 minutes? Where when I played, it was always right around a minute 20. You know what I mean? But
right.
Now they don't even come close to a minute 20 anymore.
Yeah. Well, you're and again,
because analytics say.
I don't disagree, but you know, it's 1-1. You know, now it doesn't fucking matter. It's 2-1. Pull the goalie and go for it. But
it don't matter.
Again, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and you know, the Flyers just, you know, they had some.
They gave it a good go. I mean, they took a shit at the end of the season. They beat the Rangers last week. They played these guys tough. Torts did a good job with them, whether you want to admit it or not. He did a good job with that team, and they got a lot of young guys. They're going to be pretty good in a year or two.
You know? I don't disagree.
As long as they get their goaltender back from that trial up in London, Ontario, which I don't think they're going to get away with. By the way, those players, I think they're in deep trouble.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
The sex case they had there.
Yeah.
They're deep doo-doo.
So back to the Rangers, though. So. Yeah. It looks like they'll hold on here. The Capitals, Rangers, Capitals coming up probably. It looks like Sunday.
Is it Sunday or Saturday? Which one?
Well, there's a good point that Saturday there's a basketball game, so I don't know. We'll have to see.
I gotta let you know now. I'm leaving next Monday, to go to North Carolina. I'll be back Friday night.
Okay.
So I'm only staying for 4 or 5 days. That's it.
Okay.
So we won't be able to do a show until whatever.
Yeah, the Rangers will probably be 2 to 3 games deep then.
Well, hopefully they'll be up 3-0.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm still going to text you and give you a hard time. I just got back from North Carolina.
Don't you worry about it. I've got a couple of teams in my eye on. I'm going to be texting about your teams that you like, too. You know.
Listen, not who I like, who I'm afraid of. Big difference. I know you like Toronto. If the Rangers get bounced, you want Toronto to win. I get it.
I'd like to see a
I don't like Tampa.
Toronto Rangers East final would be perfect.
Let me just tell you something. I don't like Tampa. I'm afraid of Tampa.
But you were wrong. They sucked at the end of the season. You were talking about how everybody else sucked. Rangers sucked. They sucked. They sucked. And you didn't mention one fucking thing about Tampa. And when I have to point it out to you, you didn't have a response.
Yeah. Here's my response.
They sucked the big donkey thing just like anybody else.
They still got pedigree. They got the number one scorer in the game. They got the number one power play in the game.
How long's
they have the number 3 penalty kill in the game.
Did they win the Stanley Cup last year?
No, they didn't.
Did they win the year before?
They did.
Okay. So did they win it last year?
No.
Okay.
Listen, you can say what you want to say. I still think that they are a pretty scary team. And I think now – well, wait a minute. So Boston lost tonight.
Yeah.
Carolina lost too, right?
I have no idea. All I know is it's Rangers and Washington. The rest,
hold on. But Carolina lost tonight too, didn't they?
Yeah. I think
it doesn't matter for Carolina. Florida's winning. If Florida wins tonight, they go ahead of Boston.
But how many games do those teams have left?
Boston's done tonight. They played their final game.
Well, there you go.
So then it's going to be Florida-Tampa. That's going to be a good series. And it'll be Boston and Toronto.
Original six matchup, Boston and Toronto?
Yeah, because Florida has 108 points. If they win tonight, they'll be up at 110. Boston's done.
Yes, we are, but you're on my side with this one. Every year, it's the same shit. I'm afraid of Tampa. I'm afraid of Tampa. I'm afraid of Tampa. He says it every year.
Okay, well, the fucking Rangers have lost twice to the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning in the conference. Twice.
I'm afraid of Tampa.
I mean, you can't deny that, Kotz.
But you can't deny how they sucked at the end of the season, too.
Okay, we'll see.
You said everybody else is sucking, but you failed to mention them.
Okay. They were fucking red hot before their last 10 games.
And so were the fucking Rangers.
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. But you make it sound like they're just going to be an easy bounce out, and I don't think you're right.
I could give two fucks about what Tampa does. They're not winning a Stanley Cup. I told you that at the beginning of the year, and I'm saying it again.
But I'm not talking about winning the Stanley Cup. I'm talking about the New York Rangers.
You infer like it's going to be them.
I'm talking. No, I haven't. Not one time.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
Okay, for example, they play the Rangers, then they got to face the Leafs. Are you going to give me? Well, they'll beat the Leafs too, and then they'll beat.
Well, I think the Leafs will get a good run because they'll beat
from the West. Yeah, we know the Caps won. Fuck the Caps.
Caps won. Looks like Rangers Caps. It looks like Florida Tampa.
Is that
Carolina Islanders?
So that's Florida and Tampa are really going to play now, right?
And Boston and Toronto. I'm pretty sure. I'm waiting for all the updates, but yes. So Boston lost tonight and Florida is winning. Is that game over? The Panthers done? It should be. Scores. Oh, no, there's 15 minutes in that game.
Yeah, there's still time in that one.
Yeah, so the Red Wings went into the shootout. I guess they don't know that the Capitals won yet. They're probably not showing them. But so yeah, this should be the breakdown then. If everything stays the way it is now, Rangers obviously we know because Washington won will play the Capitals. Boston and Florida will flip. And honestly, Toronto has another game after this one. They actually play Tampa, don't they? In the last game of the year. So, Toronto still can't overcome. I don't think they can overcome.
they can improve their position.
4-6. So no, Florida's going to take the number 1 spot in the Atlantic, and they would play Tampa. And Boston would play Toronto, and Carolina's going to play the Islanders. I think it's pretty much set.
Wow.
If it happens the way it does. So that'll be an original 6 matchup there. That'll be fun to watch.
Toronto and the Bruins.
And then Tampa, and then it'll be the Florida State fight. Now I like the Panthers.
I got a feeling you'll be going to a game or two there, won't you?
I will be. And I like the Panthers against Tampa. I think they match up very well with them. It's all up to what's his name? Bobrovsky. He's been around a long time, huh? Bob?
So's Vasilevsky.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. I do like Florida against Tampa, and I like Toronto against Tampa. Toronto could put the puck in the net, man. You know, that's the thing. Toronto could score. So
Toronto and Boston.
Toronto, Boston, Carolina. I think Carolina's going to wipe the Islanders out.
Oh, I don't think they're going to wipe them out. I think they'll probably win, but I don't think it's going to be a wipeout.
The Islanders are weak in the third period. They really suffered over the last while.
I'm gonna play a little Pauly D here. Who's the hot team right now? They're dangerous.
I don't think they're dangerous. I don't think they're dangerous. I think they're a hardworking club, but I don't think they're dangerous.
I think Carolina will win, but I don't think it's going to be like 4 or 5 games. It's going to go 6 for sure.
Yeah. Well. We'll get all the updates. I don't know. If we're not doing a show next week, we might want to I mean, we could do the East right now. Rangers, Washington. I think Rangers win at 6. Carolina Islanders. You say that's going to go 6. I think Carolina takes that. I mean, I don't think they're going to sweep them. But I think they're going to handle them.
I say 6. You say 5.
I'll go with 5. That's fine.
Florida and Tampa?
Yeah. That's going to be a dogfight, man. I'm going to go I'm going to go 7 games on that one. I'm going to go – I'll go 7, but I got to pick a winner there.
Well, I'll make you pick Florida. I'll take Tampa in 7.
And then the final one.
That means you got to take Florida now because I took your boys Tampa.
Okay, and then Boston, Toronto. I think Toronto
in 7.
Yeah, I don't know this. I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to go that far. I think Toronto's going to win it in 6.
Ooh.
Maybe even 5.
See this guy? You remember him, don't you? Look. Rambo. That's Rambo.
I was going to say, is that Rambo?
Rambo.
Where's his wife?
I got all the accessories downstairs that go with him. I got every action figure from that series. Rambo.
So
we had the knife in his teeth, remember?
Wilson will be running us all night. I don't know. I think Rempe's going to play, Matt. I think Rempe's going to play, and I think if nothing else, I think Rempe. This is where I think Rempe fights Wilson just to get Wilson off the ice because honestly, Wilson's a player for them. I'll take that exchange. If Tom is brave enough to fucking drop the gloves. Would you not agree, Kotz?
I got a feeling that what we're wishing for, I want to say that, but I got a feeling it's going to be the opposite. I got a feeling Wilson's not going to want it. He's just going to run around and do his thing, and hopefully the Rangers will run around a little bit themselves.
Yeah.
You know? He could pull the reverse here and just say, I ain't fighting nobody. I'm just going to keep bugging the shit out of you guys. That's all.
All right. So we both say Rangers, right?
Yep.
We both agree Toronto.
Yep.
I say 6. You say 7. What about the Rangers? What do you think?
Well, we said that. We said Rangers.
I know, but what and how many games?
I'm like you. I think they'll do it at 6.
All right, we both say 6 there. Who else?
Tampa and 7, I said. So that means you got Florida and 7. And I say Carolina and 6 over the Islanders.
Okay. So you got Tampa. I got Florida. We both agree that it'll be what, 7 games?
Which one?
Carolina.
No, 6. I got 6 games.
You got 6 games for the Tampa Florida series?
No, 7.
Okay. And then Carolina and Islanders, you got 6?
Yep.
I got 6. I'll go with 6 too. So
can we do any in the West right now before?
I don't really think we can. They still got teams that have fucking 2 games they got to play.
But I think, can't we do Winnipeg and Colorado?
Well, let me think here. Winnipeg and Colorado are going to play each other. It looks like Edmonton's
Well, if it's Winnipeg, Colorado, I'm taking Colorado in 6.
And 6, huh?
Yep.
Against the Peg. I'm going to say that's the upset, and I'm going to go with the Peg over Colorado. So, Winnipeg, I'm going to say it goes 7 games. You say, what, 6 games?
Yep. And we still don't know the rest of it, though, right?
Let me think here. Let me look real quick. It looks like Nashville. Well, we know that they have fucking. God damn it, man. Whew. Yeah, I really don't know because Vancouver's got 2 games left. Edmonton's playing tonight, aren't they? Yeah, I think they are. Oh no, they played last night.
No, they're not playing tonight. Calgary and Vancouver are playing tonight. Seattle, Winnipeg are tied 3-3, but that's already locked in. Detroit did win in a shootout. Wow.
Did they? 97, 98, 99, 100. So Vegas can actually catapult ahead Nashville. Because Nashville's done. They have 82 games played. They have 99 points. Vegas has got 80 games and 96 points. So they win both their games, they can go ahead of Nashville.
Yeah.
So that would change who Dallas plays.
Yeah, we can't do the West.
There's not much we could do there.
No. We could send it in after we know after tomorrow night.
All right. That's all I got. I'm good.
That's it. Another good one.
Trouba needs to be laying people out. Agreed.
And thank you for the new crowd that showed up today, the Schmidt brothers.
Yeah, the Schmitties. Thanks for being here, man.
And Matt Booze coming in at the last second.
Yes.
And all the regulars there. And as usual, Beth, great job, Beth. Great job.
Beth, excellent job. Thank you. Barry made a quick hit. He came in early and he left. You got to win it, man. Anything but carrying the fucking cup this year is unacceptable. And Mikey Ryback.
He'll go back to another year. Hoping that Montreal Canadiens do anything.
Look at fucking Ryback. You know, I started to like you until just now.
I love when fans of other teams that don't make the playoffs, come in and trash your team.
Yeah.
Don't you love that?
Yeah. Well, his team fucking lost again after having a lead.
Right. Montreal sucks.
Yeah, I like Marty St. Louis.
Yeah, we did know. We do know that he's in the hospital and he's recuperating from all the operations.
Who is?
Mike.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hopefully Mike gets well soon.
No, at least you get 3-4 days off now till let the games begin. You know.
Yeah.
So I'll be at home at least for one of the games.
Yeah.
Then I'm off to North Carolina.
Yeah, I just got back from North Carolina.
We're gonna go there, and I'm gonna eat a few gummies every day and drink like a fish and go out and eat big dinners every night. I will not be beaching it up like a whale laying on the sand or anything like that. That's
you going mountains or you going
to the beach. We're going to the beach. You know, we're in a hotel by the beach.
All right then. I just got back from Asheville.
I don't need mountains. I got mountains here.
I know you do. I love it. I love where you live.
And I've never stepped one foot in them in 30 years here.
An idiot. I gotta go.
I'm not Jeremiah. Listen, you're like fucking Jeremiah Johnson. Who's that other guy? Grizzly Adams, all in one.
I fucking love it, man.
One.
I love it. I fucking love it, man.
So what are you doing in the middle of Tampa then?
I'm earning a living, man. You know? But when I retire now,
where are you gonna go? Like Alaska or something like that? The Yukon?
No, I don't want to. I don't want it that much.
Oh, the Yukon.
I do love where you live. I love where you live. Love it. But I do love the mountains, man. I probably wind up somewhere in the Georgia mountains, in the Blue Ridge.
Yeah.
I'll wind up in Blue Ridge somewhere.
You'll be chopping your own wood.
Yep.
Skinning your own furs.
I'll be fucking making furniture, man. That's what I'll do. I'll be making wood furniture out there, brother.
You'll be on the side of the road selling it like Grizzly Adams.
That's it, man. I'm gonna have a farm too. I'm gonna have me some chickens. I'm gonna have me probably a goat, a pig, lots of dogs.
Alrighty.
All right. Enjoy your trip. Talk to you next week. Let's go Rangers.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.